Hey everybody, what's up? It's Joel, aka The Daily Guru, and it's time for another edition of Something Old, Something New. Today for Something Old, we're going to talk about one of my all-time favorite records. It's the 1978 self-titled release from Generation X. Generation X was actually formed when 3/4 of the band Chelsea decided to go off and start a band on their own, and the guitar player from Chelsea would become Generation X's singer, a guy by the name of Billy Idol. While they may not have the initial name recognition of bands like The Clash or The Damned or the Sex Pistols, there's no question that Generation X were one of the greatest UK punk bands ever, and their self-titled album is about as perfect as punk rock gets. This album is all about energy. From beginning to end, there's few other records in history that can even remotely hold their own against this record. On many levels, this album is more musical than the records most of their peers were releasing. It's not all about power chords, there's even solos and just more melodic passages all across it. The overall sound and production is also a lot cleaner, and when you think about it, it's just the reality that Generation X were simply more talented than most of their contemporaries. Though he's better known for the work he did as a solo artist later in his career, there's no question that this album is Billy Idol's best vocal performance ever. Truth be told, every single song on this album is an absolute punk rock classic, but the highlight has to be the greatest punk ballad of all time, Kiss Me Deadly. The song has been covered by countless artists over the years, and most people don't even know that Generation X did the original. But once you hear the original, it absolutely buries every other version, and the rest of the songs on the album are just as good. So while this is about as perfect as a punk rock album gets, it's also one hell of a rock and roll record. So do your ears a favor, go out right now and get yourself a copy of the 1978 self-titled album from Generation X. Alright everybody, today for something new, we're going to talk about the most recent release from J Mascis, and it's called Several Shades of Why. We all know and love J Mascis from his other amazing solo work, as well as Dinosaur Jr., and this is one of the best albums he's ever released. This album is a perfect representation of the fantastic level of songwriting that J Mascis has been showing both in his solo work and with Dinosaur Jr. over the last couple years, and it's almost insane to think that after 30 years, he's just reaching his creative apex. But this album presents a very stark contrast to the sound that most people associate with Dinosaur Jr. It's very soft, it's very mellow, it's very quiet, but it's very good. J Mascis has made acoustic records before, but there's no question this is his best work. There's this sense of completeness that you don't find on any of his other albums, and he's no longer just strumming and going through chords. He really shows off his ability in fingerpicking and overall songwriting. But there's still that energy, that vitality that has defined the career of J Mascis, and it's amazing to hear how he pulls it off in this quiet a setting. When you combine these amazing melodies with the fact that J Mascis has without question one of the most distinctive voices in history, it vaults this album into an entirely new level. There's this raw honesty in every single word that J Mascis sings, and while his voice and lyrics won't blow you away by any means, they will completely captivate every single bit of your attention. This is easily one of the coolest projects that J Mascis has ever been involved in, and it's also one of the best albums of this year. So on the buy it or borrow it for fans of any type of music, this record is a buy it. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you dug it. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe, go ahead and click like, go ahead and leave a comment, whatever you want to do. If you want to email me, you can do that at thedailyguru@gmail.com, and check out my website where every single day I'm writing about the greatest songs ever written at thedailyguru.net. You can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook right here, and we'll see you guys again next week.